me see. Recording now. So
There we go.
three, two, one, and we're back. We got the Fresh Stack Podcast crew here. We're gonna do a new segment called Specials on the Menu. And within this segment, we're gonna go through some pieces of collateral that stood out to each of us. Could be video, could be a design piece, could be motion, it could be photo. So we're excited to bring this back. Very similar to what we did in the previous segment 5 years ago, but it's a little reinvented look at what people are doing around the country. So we're going to do this periodically, give some people some shout outs, feature them on our social page, and hopefully create some conversation. So
Let's do it.
we got our guys here, and we're going to jump into number one, Flynn. Jump
Yeah. So this guy's caught my eye. I'll just share my screen. We'll kind of go through their Twitter profiles. We still call it Twitter.
in. The OGs call it Twitter.
That's right. Okay. You guys see
There
this?
we go. Yep.
We got it this time. We're going for this sort of like real low budget feel. Yeah, with the zoom. We prefer underproduced stuff. So this guy, Earl the artist, I saw his stuff last year, and it's just super dope. He's a senior designer for the Mavs, and the way they treat social is very, very unique. It's just like each game basically gets its own individual poster. Um, but yeah, I mean, they got a lot going on in Dallas right now, and I think this might be the best thing. I was just super impressed at, his texture usage, his composition, how he's not afraid to go heavy with negative space. And yeah, he's just, I can feel what kind of designer he is through these. Yet all of them are very different, but still cohesive. I just really like it, man. And we'll tag these people in a post. But yeah, I mean, like he's game 11. He's just running down games, like knocking them out. I just think it's super sick. So kudos to Earl. Would love to connect and just keep doing your thing, making the Mavs look good. Um,
Yeah.
And what's so impressive about it too is just how they get away with using different colors and still having it feel like it's on brand. Like the photos, all of the composition of it's great. It's all so well thought out.
Yeah.
It like some of it makes you wonder like how much of this, like how much time are they putting into each of these? How much forethought is going in? I know for something like this, you have 82 games, so you're starting to plan some of this stuff out months in advance, potentially. But there's just so much thought and effort in every little detail of this that it makes you think how much planning is going into something like this more than we realize.
Yeah.
For sure. But it still looks like, he sat down and designed and he did it his own way, right? Like
Yeah.
these blending modes are super unorthodox. This is kind of like what I would do for a personal piece, and he's making it shine for, an NBA team. Um, really impressive stuff, and just, you know, excited to see what he does with the other 70 of them this season.
Don't give me a little Marvel vibe.
Yeah.
Big fan of that. Awesome stuff, Earl.
Yeah. So Earl the artist with two T's. Give him a follow, and it's got his website here. You can check that out. And I think we are on to Andrew's special on the menu. Who
Appreciate
is a special for all of us, by the way.
it. So shout out to this designer, Shauna Howell. Been following her for a couple of years now, working for BYU basketball, men's basketball. Um, Stuff is probably top three in the country, I would say, as far as what's being done at the college basketball level. There's been some talk on social about Shauna and her uh, sort of her how and her why, and I know she's tweeted about that. So That's great stuff. We got to get more stuff like that out there from all the creatives. But this piece really stood out to me, what Shauna did. Just her brand direction is incredible, right? And I think a big part of the design, right, is a major part of it is photo, and a part of it is really good use of typography, and I think she achieves that with both of these. Great shot and a great typography and sort of a hierarchy to that typography. So, um, really like it. Very clean. It's easy to digest, but it makes you stop. And it's one of those scroll stopping pieces. So, again, big shout out to her. And small little tidbit, great shout out or great opportunity where you can integrate sponsor, right? She does a really good job in some of her pieces. Sponsor integration is such a vital thing, and it will continue to be a vital thing in the college sports space as it already is on the pro space. But to see it more, how do people go about and do that from a creative perspective? And I think Shauna does a really good job of doing that. So, uh, great stuff. Go follow Shauna if you haven't already. Um, her stuff is just really impressive. It's got variety. It's got consistency. You know it's BYU basketball. You take any BYU logo or brand recognition off of that, you know it's still BYU. That in my mind is such a huge part of all of the creative space. So shout out Shauna. Really good stuff.
Yeah, one of my favorite follower or follows, and actually, if you're listening to this video, you should check out our first full episode because we also shouted out some other creatives. She was mine in the first episode, basically echoing all of Andrew's sentiments. But I love her shadow work and just her texture work. It's all so consistent, but it's always evolving. And yeah, like she really goes through the pieces and explains her process well, even does tutorials and stuff. Just a good mentor to have for a young creative. So yeah, definitely give her a follow.
And then just building off of that, it's one thing with how she shares how she comes up with some of these pieces. She's a prime example. And one thing the question I think we get asked all the time is where you get your inspiration from. She's the perfect example of looking outside of sports for inspiration, just because you can see it so clearly in the some of the layouts. I mean, her pinned tweet is quite literally just a piece that is showing how she found a random painting of a bird and built that into her entire look and feel. And I think that's something that is hard to forget. Like once you see that and you realize, oh hey, she's really looking in a lot of really cool, unique places. It allows you to be like, okay, so maybe that's where I should go. And if you're a young creative listening to this, if you're just finding this, that is the direction you need to go when you're looking for inspo. Is finding something unique and different outside of sports, and then putting your own spin on it.
Yeah, agreed. Really good point, Thomas.
Totally. Big time special on the menu. A lot of maple syrup. A lot of maple syrup on the fresh stack. And then I'm gonna kick it over to Thomas, who has someone who I have admired for a long time in this industry and just like always am inspired by his work. I'll let Thomas keep
100%.
talking.
Yeah. So I have to shout out my guy Rhys Knight Design on I think all social platforms, KNXGHTDZN. He is, first of all, he's not from the US, he's from Wales, working on stuff mostly for the MLB, but doing a ton of really cool, unique personal projects, freelance stuff. And not only is he just a master of composition and layout and the photo retouching, it's all just such a great way of conveying information. Even the personal pieces he's putting together for fun in his free time, yes, they are some of the best like composition pieces I've ever seen with such unique layouts. I don't know where he gets all these ideas from, but he also does such a good job, just like in his work with the MLB and even the personal projects. You can easily see the stats he's trying to share. You can easily see the information he's trying to pass on. I think that's awesome. You add in that too. He does a ton of like K-pop work and just like music work in his free time. And I think that's so smart and cool because it really creates this extra like realm that you get to dive into. And it's not like sports where you're trying to, share stats, or you're trying to do XYZ thing. There's very specific goals with a sports graphic in mind. When you're doing music or something like this, you get to branch out into so many other areas, layouts, just all of it. And watching him cook in this area is insane.
Yeah.
Like Flynn has all of his K-pop stuff pulled up right now, and just the colors, the layouts, it's one. He's one of those guys that when you look at his stuff, you get mad that you're not doing that. When you see it, like I I hope as artists we all have that moment. There's certain things that I've seen and like pieces of art that I've attended or whatever, where I leave and I'm like, damn it, that's better than everything I could ever come up with. And he's someone where I'm like, damn it, he's good, and I'm mad that I'm not him. And it's just like it pushes me to keep getting better. And on top of that, he's just a good dude. I met him. He came to a Nets game a few years ago when he was in town. Great guy and super helpful just with tips. He has recently started sharing tutorials on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, all that. So drop him a follow there because I know I'm bookmarking every single tutorial that he gives because I want to know all his secrets. I will say the other thing that he got me on a few years ago when I DM'd him, I was just like, dude, what are you looking at for inspiration? Because I was at a point where I was kind of stumped. I was like, what are you doing? What's something unique that you're looking at that I haven't seen? And he said, honestly, I love looking at like J-pop, like Japanese pop music and like Japanese movie posters and stuff like that. And it's such a unique thing to think about. But what's really cool and what he pointed out that I thought was so cool was seeing that when people are writing and with different characters, not using the classic, Cyrillic characters that we use, and they're working in different directions, typography becomes a different kind of element. You kind of have to use that differently. And so taking a look at it from that perspective, I was like, okay, shut up. I need to like process this for a minute.
Oh,
That was one of the most transformative like Twitter DMs I think I've ever got.
yeah, man, because foundationally, like he's so set already that he
Mm.
has so much like house money to play with when it comes to just trying new shit that people haven't done before. And like that is such an excellent point because you're always taught like typography is the message, but it's also an element and it can be the main element in a piece. And he just does that so well, man. I mean, look at this. Look at this stuff. He's just, it's wild.
It's
Yeah.
it's incredible to look at, and just like the fact that he has so much range within his pieces as well, like stuff that's really grungy, stuff that has that really glossy sort of almost like smooth, like it's the everything has so much dimension and range. And I
Yeah.
swear, like two-thirds of my Pinterest boards are just things that he makes.
Yeah. I mean, he's sliding down a baseball bat and it fits so beautifully. You know what I'm saying? Like
It's
he's taking the right chances. He's taking the right chances on every piece.
Yeah.
I think this was one that caught my eye when he just
mm,
these color
the co-
combinations, the
Well,
slight gradients, all the lines are accurate. The bats are moving the same angle.
yeah.
Like focal point is there. It's just and
I mean,
also his
e-
small typography that he uses
mm,
textural element to
Yeah.
just balance a piece is something that a lot of brands have adopted, and I felt like he was doing that before a lot of them did it.
Even the image here, just the pureness of it, the details he's brought out, whether that was camera raw or whatever the case might be. I mean, it is to me that also makes half of this, right? Is just the detail in the image.
and it's none of it's like over complex. None of it's like feels like you've got 800 things that you've got to look through. Like it all feels like so simple. And then there's like so much depth within the simplicity. I mean, even down in the graphic we have on the screen right now, this Fernando Tatis piece, using like the swinging bat arms, just that where you only see like, 5% of the guy's body.
Yeah.
That's something that it's a risk that you got to be careful with if you're doing something for like a team. But for a personal piece, it's like, how do you even come up with this as an idea? It's so smart and clever, and you just like looking at his stuff forces you to think outside the box in every conceivable way.
Totally.
Yeah.
Way to go, Reese.
Very good.
Go, Reese. The cucumber accents the water in such a way. And
Good stuff.
I do feel like we dove in because I knew both of your creatives. We dove in even more, so I do want to just kind of go through Earl's a little bit more, and see if I can find some stuff from last year because I think he tweets probably a lot more other stuff than just graphics. But like his blending modes are sick. The blue, like look at this.
Yeah,
Like it's crazy to see that the Mavs are tweeting that and the colors. Really no primary colors of the Mavs is here, yet it looks so powerful. Textures are all there. And it's just like it shows a brand taking a chance. I
yeah,
assume, yeah, I assume he's doing like stuff for the wings. Good luck. Like just
yeah.
young
And
creative risks.
to that point, like it's even one thing that's really cool about it to me is the trust that his creative or that the Mavs give him and the freedom they give him to really make cool stuff while still like that would I feel like 99% of teams would be like that's too far off brand.
Yeah.
We can't like how are they going to know it's us? But because it's just cool and it's sick. But you still know when you see, you're like, oh yeah, that's obviously going to be the Mavs. It
Yeah.
just makes sense. And so having that ability to just like trust in the imagery, trust in the typography and the text, whatever it might be, the copy, it's smart enough where you can give them the trust and dive in. And it's a really unique thing that you just don't get to see a lot of, especially at the professional level.
For
Like
sure.
the next trend, right? There's always a trend in the sports space, creative space, and everybody seems to follow each other and diluting the market, and this could be a new thing. 'Cause I haven't seen anything like this one. So,
Yeah. Amazing stuff. So with that, I'll stop sharing. I think any other thoughts before we go to an ad break and then just maybe like a little. These are going to be relatively short throughout the year. Just, we're all very busy, but we do, want to contribute to the design community and give props where it's due. Um, but any thoughts, guys?
not off the top of my head. I really am excited to hear from our sponsor, to be honest.
Yeah. So we had
Wow,
some
I'm both very excited.
We had amazing sponsors for episode one,
Yeah,
if you haven't already heard those. And we are offering ad space because it's just, you're going to want to get it now.
so
Uh,
much.
they send me the ad copy, I read it, and sort of, I use these products, and, all of us do, really. But if you haven't already heard of these companies, you're going to want to kind of tap in.
Yeah, I think Thomas, you purchased your chocolate Lamborghini, right? You got the deal the other day.
Oh, oh, absolutely. It's on its way now. I'm really looking forward to that. My bread bed, that's been a huge lifesaver for me. And that we wouldn't advertise a product to you if we didn't believe in it. If we didn't believe that it was just the best possible thing. So this week's sponsors, especially, are some companies that I really believe
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. All right.
Take it
So
away.
let's get it rolling. We have two, because this is a shorter segment. First sponsor is Sift and Lift. Ever met a paleontologist? I have. Ever met a ton of them? I have. You ever notice how they're all jacked out of their minds?
in.
I have. And now we don't need to wonder why or how that happens because Carl Festburn, lead paleontologist at New Mexico State, has created an environment where anyone can learn the ins and outs of paleontology and lift weights with a certified paleontologist using their very same workout regimens. This is big, guys. I mean, every time I see a paleontologist, I'm like, guys, freaking huge. Like, I want to be like that. And, there's a real correlation there with grip strength and digging and stuff, but I already signed up. It's $79.99 a week. And let's do this. Sift and lift. Dig deep within. What do you guys think of that? You gonna sign up or?
Thomas is ready.
I mean, I think the only two words I really have, that rocks. You know,
Facts. Facts.
I mean, so Sift and Lift, you can find that. No website yet, but TBD on that, and we'll share that once that comes to fruition. Last but not least, fellas, the Chut Hut. It's almost Thanksgiving time. You know, the weather's getting colder, leaves are falling, segways are on sale. It's turkey season, and what goes great with turkey? A chutney, a nice warm chutney. But maybe you're tired of buying chutneys and not controlling what's in it. Not anymore, thanks to the Chut Hut. Bring in any ingredients you want and they'll chut it for you. Or you can choose from one of their 100 chutney combos. Guys, I like this because it's time efficient, right? I'm a parent. I don't have time to eat, more or less sit down and eat. So I take all my ingredients, I give it to the Chut Hut, they blend that puppy up, I down it maybe 3 minutes, boom, we're on the go, right? We're going to a park. I got my chutney in hand. Maybe I'm sipping it. If it's cold out, it's warm. If it's hot out, it's cold. Chut Hut. They're even offering Thanksgiving chutneys for the next 2 weeks. That's the whole meal, all inclusive, just chutney form. So the Chut Hut, shut the hell up.
Wow, great
mm,
stuff. We're really
Yeah,
excited for their partnership and the more things we can do with them in the future.
I'm thrilled to have them on board. I am a little disappointed they went with that instead of Chipotle, but that's just me.
they do. Well, there's a collab I heard that's sort of,
I'm
on
digging
DL, but you can get like the burrito chut it up.
Well, I will. Well, I'll just shut up then.
You can shut
My
up.
bad. Shut up.
Wow, great stuff.
Yeah,
Well, I think that was a good segment. Appreciate you guys sharing. Shout out to our three creators. Looking forward to the next one. And I think, we're going to make it a priority to touch all different types of creative. I think we did that in our last segment 5 years ago. And we'll continue to do that. So we'll show some love to the video people, show some love to the photographers, show some love to the animators and the Cinema 4D people.
yeah.
That could
By
be,
all means, reach out. Like if you have stuff that you think really catches your eye and you want to shout it out, tag us. If it's your own work, tag us. Like we're trying to get all the best stuff seen by all these eyes. So we appreciate everyone's hard work, and we're gonna try and shed light on that.
Yeah, and make sure if you wanna tag us, all of our socials will be tagged somewhere, as well as follow the podcast on social media. We will be sharing all this stuff from there, posting posting who we're shouting out each week. I believe that's the plan right now, at least. Show some love that way, and hopefully, who knows? Maybe we'll do some theme weeks. That way, we have specific genres we're falling into. Maybe we do some younger creatives one week. Who knows? So just stay tuned. We will. I think if I can speak on behalf of the group, I think we want to shout out as many amazing creatives as we can and spread that love as far as we can.
no doubt.
For
Agreed.
sure. Maybe a design challenge
Ooh,
might workshop that a little bit. So,
That could be a thing.
let's get a sponsor on it too.
oh yeah, it's
I hope
done.
it's the Chut Hut. That's my favorite sponsor we've had thus far. I am starving.
Love it.
What quenches your hunger more than a little bit of chutney?
All right. Well, until next time, appreciate everybody watching, listening. We'll catch you next time.